welcome back to the Lightside Podcast. Happy New Year. I'm so happy that you've tuned in. It's the first week of 2024 and I'm so thrilled to go into the new year feeling energized and excited and prepared. And that's really the aim of this episode, as well as the week prior, was to get us into a place of feeling ready and clear on what we want to do for this coming year. I'm going to provide you with a comprehensive guide on your goal setting or intention setting for the year and really provide you with the tools and strategies to be able to set yourself up for success and have a year that meets the definition of success, what that means to you. Last week's episode was all about doing a reflection exercise to equip us with the ability to discern what areas we want to focus on in the coming year. And I hope you had the chance to do the Wheel of Life exercise portion and to notice where the biggest gaps are and see if that also aligns with what you want to value and prioritize in the coming year, what's most valuable to you right now, and use that to choose meaningful goals relative to what that Wheel of Life exercise revealed to you. If you haven't listened to the reflection episode, I highly recommend doing so. Consider it as a part 1 to this. Go and listen to that and then come back. The reason why it's a prerequisite to goal setting is that it allows us to see how we got to where we are. It helps us take a second to really consider and notice if there are any patterns and make decisive decisions to take action that is going to actually make an impact or a difference. It's like doing a life audit and understanding the areas that matter most to us, and through the Wheel of Life exercise and through the reflection questions, how can we take better decisive action in the coming year? How can we set ourselves up for a happier year? If you're listening to this episode, you're likely already bought into why goal setting is important, but I want to give you more reason as to why it is and why you should listen to this. Like, goal setting is so crucial for our personal growth and professional growth too, of course, but goal setting gives us clarity and direction and purpose. It's not intended to determine our worth, because our worth is inherent. Like the air we breathe, we were born worthy, but it gives us and the effort that we're putting out into the world on a day-to-day basis more meaning and purpose. It aligns our actions with a purpose. It's not about achieving, so to speak, but it's about the process. It pushes us to grow, to expand, and to become a better, greater version of ourselves. So in the process of goal setting and taking action, we learn more about ourselves. It's self-discovery. We learn about our strengths, our weaknesses, our passions. It helps us build resilience and grit and determination and accountability and consistency and the value of all of that. And so really, goal setting is more about the overall intentionality and the mindfulness that we bring into our lives about how we're spending our time, how we're spending our energy, who we're spending time with, being really conscious and intentional about life and living. And so overall, it helps us on our growth journey. And so it's not necessarily about the accomplishments and rewards, but for living a purposeful life, for living consciously and mindfully. I'm also completely aware that you can Google like how to create SMART goals, but I want to really equip you with questions that set you on a self-inquiry journey to help guide your goals and make them more holistic and intentional, and provide you with tools and strategies to effectively set goals and to carry them out. So I think it's just so important to not start the new year expecting to change our entire life around with tons of New Year's resolutions, because it's extremely overwhelming and it's proven to be ineffective. We really want to focus on 1 or 2 things at a time, and then once we incorporate it, we add on to it. There's a lot of different stats around how long it takes to add a new habit, and it's anywhere between 3 to 9 months. And so I think a lot of people say 60 days or something like that, but it takes months and months of effort, of consistency. And so that's why I think this content that we're going to get into today is so valuable in equipping us. So personally, I'll just share with you that the way I like to approach my year and think about goal setting is as a whole. Like, what I do is I do have a brain dump of everything that I want to work on. What I like to do is think ahead for the year and think of it as a whole. what I want the key theme for my year to be, what I want to experience more broadly. Then I like to break it down into quarters and seasons and then like assign them to different months that I think feels the best or works best for my life. And I'm sure that's going to look very different for each of us, right? For some of us with families or different types of roles, some are teachers, some have like free us up at different times of the year. So you want to do it in a way in which it makes sense to you. For me personally, it's important to approach my intentions and my goals on a monthly basis and reflect on them on a monthly basis. Starting a new month, I usually have new goals that I'm working on, and ending a month, I reflect on what I was able to do with the time I had and modify and see what did I incorporate, what did I not, what came up for me. I'm going to get into all of this in more granular detail, but I think it's helpful to take off the pressure. Like we need to hit the ground running in January and really just break it up into small, achievable goals. And not only will that motivate us, but it just works. It's proven to work more effectively. And it's very common for us to want to tackle everything at once, but it's important for us to start small, then build up, because the quality matters more than the quantity or speed of the achievement. So towards the end of the episode, we'll talk about effective goal setting strategies and tips, but first and foremost, I want to kick off by building the groundwork for our goal setting and setting intentions before we get into the details of our goals. It's really valuable and important to think about your year with a vision in mind. Consider this question, like what is a key theme that I want to define my year this year? Maybe fast forward to January 2025 and think about how you want to feel at that time and consider the key theme for you. Maybe it's transformation, maybe it's healing, maybe it's growth, maybe it's balance or well-being. This key theme really sets the tone and direction for your year is kind of how I'd like for you to think about it. It's like a guiding, overarching narrative. And it helps frame our mindset and approach for the year because, that's your vision for how you want to spend the next 12 months. And really, I want to take it a step further and then for you to pick a word that you want to define your year. And the word is more focused. So it's kind of like a mantra or like a guiding principle. Maybe your anchor from which you lean on to make decisions or lean on for motivation. So maybe it's resilience, maybe it's courage. And using that word as a constant reminder to maintain focus and consistency towards your goals, towards working on whatever you are working on. And so I find this really helpful because at times when you feel indecisive, when you feel distracted or lost, it can help us make decisions. It can help us maintain focus and be a source of motivation. And so together they work hand in hand. Your vision of the year has a key theme. Maybe it's transformation, and your word is resilience. Through that transformation allows you to zoom in and maintain the theme that you want for the year. I shared a post on this on Instagram on New Year's Eve, and I'd love to hear your word. Go and comment, share your word with us. I think it's encouraging and inspiring for others to see the different words that people choose, and it helps add diversity of thought. Like it's maybe get ideas. I think it helps to lean on each other. And the next question I want you to consider is, what does success look like to me? What does success mean to me? Getting clear on what success means to you and knowing that it means different things to all of us is extremely, extremely valuable and informative in determining our path. There's different areas of your life that contribute to your overall success. And I think it's important to ask yourself, what emotions do I associate with being successful? How does success feel to me? Is it a sense of accomplishment? Is it a sense of fulfillment? Of happiness? Does a specific area of your life dominate what success means to you? Is it family, career, relationships? Is it freedom? Is it health? Maybe success to you is based on the impact you have on others or your community. Maybe it's about awards and titles or validation and approval. It's just important to get to know yourself on this definition. Become aware of what success means to you and how it compares to your level of inner peace and how you feel on a day-to-day basis. And maybe you'll recognize that it may have changed over time from what you thought it meant to you in the past. Now your definition of success has changed entirely. That's definitely the case for me. Over the years, it's evolved. And maybe imagine looking back on your life and think about what achievements or aspects of your life you would look back on and you would label as being successful, or like that you would feel you've truly done well in life. And bring those thoughts front and center and consider, what changes do I need to make in my life over the next few months to be on that path to what success means to me. Be very specific and clear with yourself. What would you like to see change in your life over the next few months? I have a very comprehensive guide that I've put together, which includes questions to think about and consider for 9 areas of your life. And it also raises the questions that we just talked about. But the categories that it covers are personal growth, health, both physical and mental, love, family and friends, career, finances, travel and experiences, our character and spirituality. What I've done is I've created a description of what each of these sections mean and entail of, and example goals for each section as a reference, and most importantly, questions to consider for that self-inquiry to help you formulate your goals holistically, thinking about your life as a whole. It's a 360 because every aspect of your life seeps into one another, is not mutually exclusive. So your career is not just impacting what you do at work. It impacts every other area of your life. And so the same goes with your relationships and your health. And I want to encourage you to visualize the outcome of your goals and your vision coming to fruition. See it played out in your mind and see how it would feel once you achieve the goals that you have in mind, or you've made the changes you wanted to make, and how that looks and how that feels. Maybe put together a vision board. I created a brief tutorial on this on my Instagram last year, and I'm happy to link it in the show notes. You can create a vision board and have it on the screensaver of your phone that you look at very often, and it helps recenter you and remotivate you towards your goals. But the reason why visualization is so powerful, and it's almost a secret sauce, is it creates motivation by reinforcing how it will look and feel in your life. It helps reduce the doubt and fear we might have too, because we're able to see it and visualize it and feel how it would feel for it to be true. And so it taps into our subconscious mind and help program it to recognize the opportunities that come up that align with our goals. It also helps us create ideas and ways to get to where we want to get to. It helps us build confidence and self-belief in the possibility of what we want. It preps our mind to be more positive and have a positive outlook, but also preps our mind and body for the actual experience itself. And really, I encourage you to visualize what it will feel like when your goals have come to fruition, once they are a part of your life, and write about it in terms of how it'll feel when it's accomplished, as if it's already come to pass. That will help further conjure up feelings that will motivate you. If you want more on this, I go into a lot of depth on it on my manifestation tips episode. I highly suggest that. Ultimately, the message I want to drive home about visualization is that it helps us get specific and precise and clear, and it helps us reinforce the belief in its possibility, and therefore impacts our actions and our effort, and the feelings that it conjures up play as a key motivator. They push us, and it delivers the why in our mind very clearly, because we get to experience it and see it before it actually happens. And so I have a funny story about this, and I think it requires its own episode because it was so mind-blowing, and I don't want to go off on a tangent. So having covered what we've covered so far to set the foundation for your goal setting, let's dive into effective strategies for goal setting. Very briefly, I think the biggest takeaway from employing effective strategies when it comes to goal setting is keeping in mind that our goals need to be trackable. And that's why a lot of times you hear people talk about setting SMART goals, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. And I'll share some examples to showcase how we can make SMART goals. It's not as complicated as it sounds. So for instance, if I want to improve my well-being, my SMART goal is going to be I'm going to add a 30-minute morning routine consisting of a 10-minute meditation and 20-minute yoga 5 days a week for the next 3 months. So this is specific. It's very clear. It's measurable because, it's going to be a 30-minute time frame and the frequency is 5 days a week. It's achievable because it's only adding 30 minutes to my day. It's not adding like 1 or 2 hour routine to an already busy morning. It's relevant in that it improves my well-being very directly. So it helps me center and ground myself before the start of my day, and it creates space in my energy. And also, it's time bound because it's for the next 3 months. And I love this so much because it's very clear. It has a level of accountability. It allows us to be able to measure the progress and its effectiveness. And 3 months is a great period of time to incorporate in a habit. And through that 3 months, I'll definitely do reflections and see like, how is it going? Like, do I want to increase it? Maybe actually I'm going to go to bed 40 minutes earlier and I can do a 30-minute yoga instead of a 20-minute. I'll feel even better because I'm increasing the amount of time I'm giving back to myself and my body. Another example for a SMART goal is maybe it's to improve my relationship with my parents or siblings or partner, insert person of interest. I'll plan to dedicate at least 2 hours of interrupted quality time every weekend for the next 3 months, where we do things that we like or we both enjoy. Maybe it's having meaningful conversations, going on a hike, trying a new restaurant, whatever resonates for you and your relationship, or whatever you enjoy doing. But that is a very specific, it's measurable because it's every week. It's 2 hours of time, uninterrupted quality time. It's achievable because my weekends, I like to do something fun. It's relevant because I'm very much interested in improving my relationships and deepening them. And it's time bound because I want to do it for at least 3 months and ideally longer after that. Try it out. Try setting very specific, measurable goals that will help you. The reason why I really love the Wheel of Life exercise that I shared about last time, it helps shine light on which area of our life needs the most immediate attention or takes priority. Because when you see one area of your life is at, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10 at an 8, where another area of your life is at a 3, that imbalance seeps into every other area of your life. As I mentioned earlier, like each area is not mutually exclusive. So using the Wheel of Life exercise to help you prioritize what is really most important to you. Just reflecting quickly, what's coming to mind is when I think about my career, like every year I had this career goal and I would work towards it. And looking back, had I done this Wheel of Life exercise, I would have noticed how my well-being and my health ranked on the scale of 1 to 10, let's say it being like a 2 or a 3 at the time. And then my career was already at an 8 or a 9. That imbalance, if I had identified it then, it could have saved me the burnout that I experienced. It could have saved me the pain and the tough time that I went through on a personal level, or even how I ranked in my relationships. Again, seeing where there's an imbalance in your life can help determine what area of your life you want to give more focus to and prioritize accordingly to determine what's most important to you and rank your goals that way, because we can only do 1 or 2 changes at a time. It is unrealistic, and I've never heard any encourage us to make a ton of changes at once. It's a recipe for disaster, honestly. I don't like saying that word, but it's the truth. And so the next tip that I have is to break down your goal into small, manageable tasks. Maybe your goal is learning how to play guitar or piano, and that can sound overwhelming. How am I going to fit playing guitar? But it's about breaking it into small tasks. Like maybe it's 20 minutes a day, right? So the first day, your 20 minutes is spent on finding a guitar, or maybe finding someone to borrow it from. You already know somebody, or maybe it's finding out more about what it takes to play guitar the next day and like learning about it more in depth, like spending 20 minutes a day, just a 20-minute time commitment. Finding a teacher the next day, like spending 20 minutes Googling, looking out for referrals or recommendations. And then after that, it's 20 minutes a day to continue, 20 minutes to practice. It's likely lessons are 30 minutes to an hour, but that would be like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So you see how something that can feel really overwhelming, such as playing a new instrument as an adult. It's overwhelming for me to learn how to play guitar at the age I am at now with all the responsibilities I have on my plate. But if we break down the time commitment of what felt overwhelming to just 20 minutes a day, it becomes so much more manageable and we actually make progress. Break up your goal into small bite-sized pieces and incorporate it into your lifestyle on a gradual basis so that it's sustainable. What we care about is sustainability and long-term gratification. Really, we want to break up what we want to achieve into such small pieces so that it's better digestible. Okay, and we've talked about balance and how important that is. Then considering all of this, making your goals specific into SMART goals, breaking it down into small bite-sized pieces. Also consider what could come up, what could hinder you, what has stopped you in the past, what could stand in your way of achieving your goals now, and what can you do if it does come up? What have you done in the past to already address this that didn't work? Really having a mitigation plan. This is where my project management days really comes into play. Is like I wear this hat of thinking about what are potential risks and mitigants. And really the risks are what could come up that can stop you from sticking to your goal. So maybe it's like not going to bed early enough to be able to wake up 30 minutes early. And then having an action plan for that. Well, no, I'm going to put my phone away an hour before bed so I can really get to bed on time and get restful sleep so I can wake up at the time that I need in order to do my morning routine, which fuels me, which sets me up for success, which makes me feel great and balanced and energized. So it's like thinking about what could come up for you. Maybe not dedicating enough time on Sunday to go grocery shopping. That could be an obstacle to meal prepping. Okay, what can I do if that comes up? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the grocery store first thing when I wake up on Sunday. I'm just making it up. But I think it's important to think about what can come up and what your solution is for it ahead of. So when it comes up, you're not like, oh, well, I couldn't do it or like it wasn't meant to be. And then knowing your why is so important in maintaining momentum and consistency. Jay Shetty taught us an acronym in our coaching school, which was the word why. And to keep that in mind when we're working towards our goals or outcomes, which basically breaks down to what happens if I don't do this or if I don't achieve this goal. How is achieving this goal going to impact my life? And why does this matter to me? Why does this change matter? Why does this goal matter to me? And knowing all those aspects, like knowing your why you're showing up, why you're being consistent makes a huge difference. Like one thing that keeps me very consistent with my morning routine is knowing how I'll feel the rest of the day, knowing how energized I'll feel, knowing how well I sleep at night when I do my morning routine. That is a big enough reason for me to do it because I know if I don't do it, I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel exhausted coming days too because I won't sleep well. And the impact it has on me is my well-being. My ability to have good health is my abilities to live a happy life and a fulfilled life. The more you're able to tune in with the benefits and like the reasons why achieving your goals matters, the more likely you'll be motivated and accountable to show up, to take action, and be true and consistent with it. To package all of this in one place, I've created this comprehensive workbook to organize and track and to provide a 360 holistic view and picture of your goals and tracking them, and to use it as a tool to identify your goals, to set your goals and track them in one place, not only this year, but all the years to come in the same consistent manner. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm so happy with how comprehensive it has become. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I've literally spent 10 years of my life creating guides and such in my corporate career. And so it's really one of my strong suits, so to speak. I will announce its availability on my Instagram, and I will also provide a link in the show notes. I hope that you find it helpful and valuable. And I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode. Let me know if there's any points that I go into deeper or if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from you. I appreciate your time so much. I'm so grateful and honored to spend time with you on a weekly basis now. If you've enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, share with your friends, family, colleagues. That is the biggest compliment, and I truly appreciate it so much. I'm wishing you a beautiful first week of January and a beautiful 2024. I will see you many, many times throughout the year. So we're just getting started. I'm sending you tons of love, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.